All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's this idea that every mistake you make is actually a step closer to greatness.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what our source material says anyway.
Right.
And we all mess up sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But could they be right? Could our failures actually be putting us on the path to something amazing?
It's a really thought-provoking idea, isn't it? You
Mhm.
think about all those stories of huge successes.
Yeah.
You rarely hear one where there weren't any
Yeah.
setbacks along the way, right? What's really interesting to me, though, is that it's not just about failing.
Oh, okay.
It's about how those people who end up really successful deal with those failures.
Yeah.
How they understand them and learn from them.
I see what you mean. So, okay, most of us. When we fail, we kind of see it as like the end of the road, a
Yeah.
dead end. But this is saying successful people see it differently. They embrace it. How does that even work?
It's definitely not the way we're usually taught to think about failure,
Right.
but the key is to see it as feedback.
Oh.
Think of like Thomas Edison. He had that famous quote about finding 10,000 ways that didn't work before he made the light bulb.
Oh, right, right.
Each of those quote-unquote failures
Yeah.
actually gave him information that helped him refine what he was doing.
Okay.
So instead of being discouraged by those failures, he used them to learn.
So it's not about like avoiding mistakes. It's more about using them to adjust your approach.
Exactly.
I guess it's like, when you're trying to cook something new,
Yeah.
the first couple times it might be a total disaster.
Happens to the best of us.
But every time you try, you learn something about the recipe, the timing, the techniques, and eventually, boom, you're like a master chef.
Exactly. It's a shift in mindset that's so important. Instead of seeing failure as this like huge setback,
Yeah.
you start to see it as a chance to grow.
I mean, that's a much more positive way to look at it. It could really change how you approach things.
It can be super empowering.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not so scared of messing up, you're more willing to experiment and try new things, even if they're outside your comfort zone.
And isn't that how we really grow?
Absolutely.
This is what I find so interesting about this whole idea. It suggests that how we think about failure
Yeah,
actually affects how much we can achieve.
exactly. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. If you're
Yeah.
constantly terrified of making mistakes, you're probably going to avoid taking risks, and that limits your potential.
Right. Makes sense.
What's fascinating is that changing how you see failure,
Mm-hmm.
it can make you so much more resilient and adaptable. And those are crucial skills for achieving anything worthwhile in life.
So if we can embrace those failures and learn from them,
Yeah.
use them as fuel to keep going, then maybe that's how we want it. Unlock our own version of greatness, whatever that may be.
I love that. It's like
Mhm.
that secret ingredient that helps us reach our full potential. And to leave you with something to think about, I want you to consider a time when something didn't go your way,
Hmm.
but it actually ended up leading to something positive.
Mm.
How did that experience change your path? What did you learn from it?
Mhm.
Remember, even the most successful people have had their fair share of stumbles. It's how they dealt with those stumbles that sets them apart.
Really makes you think. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.